Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Bashem, Kakodash. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. And I'm going to title this video, "For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again." Hell revisited, or the doctrine of hell revisited. So I'm going to open with Hebrews 5, verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not strong drink. What's the difference between milk and strong drink? The Lord coming on the scene to the people of Israel. I mean, that's scholars, they go with that. They, you read about the Lord. You go to Google, you put in Jesus or the Lord or the Son of the Lord or the Christ. They give you, information on, who is the fulfillment of prophecies, that he's going to come out of Bethlehem, and that he was going to gather the disciples, and that he was going to die on the cross. That's basic. Like if you go to any Christian, and I mention the Lord and the disciples and Peter and the Apostle Paul and the book of Romans and the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, the four Gospels. Christians know that. That's basic stuff. Now, strong meat would be the great doctrine. And all of the Israelite groups out there, all of them, IUIC, ICPK, all of them, all the major groups, including the great and powerful Sakari, they all got emotional. They all turned into Christians, and they demonized us for teaching the truth. Am I become your enemy because I give you the truth? And our brother Polite, which by the way, he's set that his continuances has come to an end. And the continuances basically they need more time. So it's a series of adjournments. Have you ever been in the system? Then there comes a time where your adjournments or your continuances, are to the full. Because this happened, 2 years, maybe 3 years ago? So his trial date is set for May 1st, May Day, 1776, May Day. An important year for the illuminated ones. So he's got to deal with it. They have evidence and all that, but that's a whole nother story. May the Most High have mercy on his soul. Anyway, he rolled up on us, and him and Sarnetta, and one of the questions that he confronted, he asked us was about the whole grape thing, and we went into the scriptures and we showed him, and he filmed it. He had a debate with Captain Cesariak, and when they were filming, I said they're going to use it for the debate, to make the Israelites as a whole look bad. And he showed the video of me, the apostles. Apostle Ricard was there at the time too. That we said that it's okay to grape pursuant to the law, and it played on the emotions of these lost souls, these Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites, and all these people that came up against us in any way. You're all going to take, if you survive that long, you're going to take the charagma, and then you're going to be condemned. And you're not going to be condemned to the eternal damnation. All right. But anyway, I think this is going to be a little long, so make your a cup of cassava. That's what I take anyway. For when the for when the time for the time ye ought to be teachers. You ought to be teachers. Ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first or principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as need milk and not strong drink. So the strong drink, I gave you the example. Another strong drink is the MOTB. That's why guys are choking off it. Wi-Fi was choking, and they babies in the game. So you know they were gonna choke off it. I mean, if you ever want to get Wi-Fi off of your back, you just bring up the Mark of the Beast subject, and they'll run, they'll tap dance. It says, for everyone that uses milk, the baby scriptures, the Lord came for the nation. Well, that's even milk among these Christians. You know, when you speak about the Lord, you arguing with a Christian, you say who's Jesus, who's the Christ, or go into a whole song and dance about the Lord. He came for the whole world. And then you say, well, didn't he only come for Israel? No, he came for the whole world. John 3:16. So that's milk. But if you say Israel, the Lord came for the nation of Israel only, that's strong meat. They choke off of it. Like vocab alone, he's choking off of it. Give me a second. Okay. But please forgive me. Let's read on. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them, the MOTB, the great doctrine. Even the Lord came for the Israelites, but strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age. These individuals, these different camps, you're finding out IUIC is nothing but babies. They nothing but babies. Babies with purple diapers on. They're nothing but babies. Wah, 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 wah. They crying, wah, 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 wah. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, like the men of GMS, even those who by reason of use have their senses, minds exercised to discern both good and evil. To pull out the matter of fact, let me go here. You have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. What is this? Malachi 3, verse 16. Now you see it says in the headline, the book of remembrance. What is the book of remembrance? And what does it mean to remember something? Is the like the parts of your body, your arm, your leg, your eyes, your feet, your head, they're members that are put together to make up a body. There's like if somebody's in a car accident, they said they were dismembered, meaning that parts of their body fell off of them. So to remember is to bring the body parts back. So in this case, bring the truth back to you. By what? The book. What is the book of remembrance? Well, that's a topic right there. What is the book of remembrance? Not the Quran, the scriptures. And see, we're at a point now, you have the head of Sakari, he's going to do a debate with this individual named Dr. Michael Brown or Dr. Brown, and he's supposed to be educated, went to these seminary schools. And Sakari gonna beat the shit out of him with the book, because he really doesn't know what's going on. You got vocab. He's getting his game up by watching us. He's learning how to debate. He's learning how to, he's learning the scriptures by following us. He's really a fan of us. He's starstruck when he sees us. It says, and I guarantee you, he wishes that he's an Israelite. He wonders am I really a Edomite? I hope I'm an Israelite. So he's basically Balaam. AK, that's a new name. But no, Balaam was for Israel. It says, so let me read this. Let me stop yapping. 16 verse. Malachi 3 verse 16. Then they that are, I had a handful of scriptures coming that I was going to go into, that I'm going into other scriptures. You know how the spirit works. You have a handful of scriptures. So I'm going to hit these 3 scriptures. I haven't hit one of those 3 or 4 or 5 scriptures. It says, then they that feared Yahweh, not Christ. And this is why the IUIC can't get this truth, and that the Most High is taking the truth from them. Matthew 13, starting at around the 12th verse, is going to be taken away, even that they have, because they're teaching a doctrine now. And I'm going to let you hear it so you don't say I'm putting words in their mouth. That the lake of fire is actual hell, that if you're condemned to hell for eternity, that was never taught by the 7. Even Bishop Nate never taught that. He never taught that, because we would know. Bishop Nate came up with us. So they're waxing worse and worse. The Most High, that's the old wine bottle. So the truth that they did have, it's leaving them, man. And that's out of what? Out of pride. And then they get mad when we get on them, like Asaph. He goes, keep the bishop's name out your mouth. Well, you're getting emotional, man. Why? Because you're a baby. Yahweh Shop, you should have stood up to Bishop Nate. And I got a precept for that too. That whatever the king does, and he calls himself a king, his officers do what he does. And it's not like that way in GMS. If I say something that was off, the apostles will get, how are you going off? Or even the bishops or the elders, they would say, you go, like if I taught that Edomites can make it, they're gonna jump. They're gonna say, "Look, Tar, what's up, man? The Edomites can make it. What you talking about?" But now, if Bishop Nate said it, they'll believe it, man, because they're blind. If the blind lead the blind, they shall what? They shall both fall into a ditch. This is why the 12-tribe production and the House of David. Actually, they had a 12-tribe production, and you had your Ash and Rahab in them. And these were the guys that came up against us with the Cornelius thing, which now the bishop, he teaches it that Cornelius is an Israelite. Never apologized to us. So that pride is fucking him up, man. That's why he got sick a couple of times. And one time he had that shake, then he came out of that. Then he went into the hospital. I don't know what. He was all messed up. He looked like he was about to point to dead. The Most High, pretty much raised him from the dead. And here he is. Oh, go to IUIC. Go to the Passover 2022. Go to the opening where he's back. And is this so? I'm happy to see you, Bishop. Oh, great. That's worship, men worship, man. And he mentioned he said he mentioned the name Yahweh, and he mentioned the name Yahweh Shai. He said something to the effect, because certain other people get mad if I don't mention it. He was talking about GMS. Then even Bishop Kanai opened the prayer, and he said the word. Normally, when they open the prayer, they say Most High and Christ bless, or Jesus the Christ. Bishop Kanai said he mentioned Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and he stumbled when he said it, meaning I take it that he hadn't said it in a long time, because they had a meeting that they agreed not to use the word. Now, if I was at that meeting, I would have stood up right there. I would have said nothing, and then I would have never came back. Let me give you some more history. When that split took, when they kicked us out of the house of David, what happened was it was a series of, and I told King Marshall, I said, Marshall, they're gonna kick you out too. I used to call him Mo. I said, Mo, they're gonna kick you out too. Nah, they ain't gonna kick me out. I'm the king. Okay, we'll see. And sure enough, he was out of there. And then we found out about it. We was keeping in contact with King Marshall anyway. But what was I gonna say? There's so many things on my mind. So when that happened, you had the base, which was Bishop Nathaniel. You had Rahab, and you had Yasha, and you had some others, and they broke up, and then Bishop Nate, before he was a bishop, he called me. He had my number. All those years, he had my number. That was 1997. It was 2000, I think, 2001, something like that. I think it was after the towers dropped. He called. I'm like, who the hell is this? And hey, shalom, brother. And we talking, and he was saying that, we split up, and then he started going into details of why they didn't want to deal with Mo. They didn't recognize him as a king. And that's what the first thing was all about. They were protecting the king, but then they came against the king. If you believe that that's the king, that's up to you. He said he had a series of dreams. He did everything based upon dreams. He had a dream that King Marshall told him to put this rice and give it to the people, and he knew that there was pork juice in the rice. So he said, Marshall, there's pork in the rice. He said, give it to the people anyway. He woke up and he said, he's not the king, based upon a dream. If you have a dream that your wife is committing adultery with another man, and you wake up and you beat the shit out of her, and you find out that that was just a dream, that was just a dream, man. So you got caught up in your dreams. So Bo was out of there along with Bunyamyan and them, but the HODC, which is like the weakest camp in all of Israel. I mean, they weak, and they be changing up there. They're like out of the circle. We don't even deal with them. They be changing gospel so much, the Most High gonna destroy all of them or humble them, And there's so many of these guys going off. There's so many of these guys going off. Anyway, after that, it was that base, that core left with Bishop Nate, Brother Nate, whatever he was, Yasha and Rahab and them, and they became reservoir dogs. Look that word up, or that term, and they would change the gospel. Or there was a point where they had changed the gospel the first or second week, and this split. Okay, we're gonna start teaching this. We don't teach this no more. I'm looking at them like they fucking crazy. They had one thing where they said, well, this is what Bishop Nate still teaches today, that if you have a woman that comes to this thing, both of you are Baptists, and I said this before, if you come in, your wife got to come in the truth, whether she likes it or not. So you have a lot of breakups, because I don't know the extent of the breakups, but you do have breakups of men leaving their wives because they don't want to come to the truth. They want to continue to remain Baptist or Methodist or whatever. And so they teach that. They said, look, you can deal with your wife for 6 months. If she doesn't get it in 6 months, you're going to have to leave her alone, which is clearly not biblical at all. The Apostle Paul speaks about that in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. It speaks about having an unbelieving wife. And then in the book of, I believe it's 1 Peter, if I'm not mistaken. I can go to it. It's no big deal. I believe it's 1 Peter 3. Matter of fact, let me do this. Okay, I'm right here. Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Calling him Lord. Let's see what comes up. Okay, boom. I was right. 1 Peter 3, verse 6. But let me come up to the first verse. Now, if a sister comes in, she believes in the Israelite thing, her husband is a Muslim, they'll say, well, look, you got to cut off, from your husband because he doesn't believe, and you got 6 months. And then she's so connected to this Israel thing that she leaves her husband. You know what she winds up doing? She winds up getting with a dude in the school, and while the husband still lives. That's adultery right there. So at one side of their mouth, they're saying, keep the law. The other side of their mouth, they're telling you, oh, leave your husband. Now, if she left her husband, she would have to remain as an unbeliever. It says, likewise, ye wives, be in subject to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, the husband, they also may, without the word, be won by the conversation of the wives. While the man beholds your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting of the hair and the wearing of gold. That's what they wear, the jewelry, all this, that, and the third. It said you're supposed to be a modest dress or of putting on apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in this case, women, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornaments of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High of great price. For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in the Most High adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Then it says in the 7th verse, at 6 and 7 verse, and jump to 7, likewise ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge. I mean, you can read this whole chapter. So there's no scripture where it says if you come into this truth and your husband doesn't come into the truth, you give him 6 months and you leave them. That's clearly adding to the scriptures. And the same thing goes for the man having a wife that's an unbeliever. That's also in the scripture, you know, it applies to both. It's also in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. So we're telling you what they're going off. If somebody goes off, you're supposed to correct them. So they're going off on a bunch of things. And the main thing that they're going off on now is the hell doctrine. They said that hell, first of all, hell is not a place on earth. You got to qualify that. You know, if you say we were in hell, hell is a condition, but hell, first and foremost, is the grave. So let me bring this up. Ecclesiasticus 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. You notice when Bishop Nate says something, and I can see it. What did he just say? And them guys won't budge. They just straight up, they just with it. Nobody's bucking their eyes or batting their eyes at them and shaking their head. They just go with it, man. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So whatever the head man does, the king, the judge does, the officers and the people just follow. They just blindly follow. Whatever this guy says, we're just going to go with it. And that's showing you that they're not learning. And when you watch the IUIC videos, they pull out a lot of precepts. They pull out a lot of precepts. But guess what? They go off on certain things and they pull out precepts that kind of go with what they're teaching. And then if you argue with them, and maybe I'll bring out two precepts proving that they're going off. Well, the bishop, he brought out 20 look, if you're wrong, I don't give a damn if you bring out 100 precepts. He's bringing out them precepts to fool your simple ass. The simple believeth every word. Through fair words, fine speeches, he showed what? Deceive the heart of the simple. The naive ones, the ones that don't know what's going on. The ones that's blindly following these guys. Okay, so now let's go from here to, let's go to Malachi, the book of remembrance, right? How do we know that we're the Israelites? We're the Israelites based upon the book. Everything points to us. Then they that feared the Lord Yahweh spake often one to another, and that's what we do. How do we speak to each other? On the web. I'll do a video, and other brothers watch the videos and sisters, and then other brothers they might build upon the lesson that I did. Or I might see a video that they did and build upon a lesson that they did. So we're constantly communicating, even though we're not. It's not, okay, brothers, all you brothers, you got to come and meet the leadership every week. Yeah, but I live in California. You still got to come. That would be a burden. I'm in Alaska. Got every week, brother. That's part of it. You got to come to the leader. No. And there's certain brothers we ain't never met. There's certain brothers we ain't met in years. Because it's not important right now. The important thing is we're out there teaching his word. Okay, it says, another, and the Lord Yahweh hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance, which is the scriptures, was written before him for them that feared Yahweh, which is the elect. The elect are the ones that fear Yahweh, not Jesus the Christ. And that thought upon his what? His name. His name is not Jesus the Christ. His name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. And I did a video on that. Was it a brief lesson on the name? And I had showed you in that video the clip where Bishop Nate said some people call him Yahweh. I was taught that his name is Yahweh. And he says something to the effect that that's the proper pronunciation. So why don't you use it? 17 verse. And I'm gonna say this. Yeah, the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, is going to break the IUIC up. If there's any sincere brothers in there, and I believe that there's sincere brothers in there, they're going to come out of that. They might be on their own. They might join with us. We don't know. All these old renegade camps, they're all gonna get broken up, man. And the sincere ones, if there are sincere ones, they're gonna come out of that, and they're gonna follow our lead, which is GMS. And we're the only ones. Ain't no other camp gonna get on. I mean, is Sakari gonna get on IUIC? Well, they saying we're in unison with them. Oh, really? So, Sakari, do you guys teach that hell is an actual place? You might as well get together with the IUIC and make a phone call to the GOCC and get 3 camps together and make one big uni camp. And they shall be mine, saith Yahweh of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will, that's parable talk, I will spare them, the ones that fear Yahweh, as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked. In other words, rightly dividing the word of truth between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. Because ultimately, these guys are not serving the Most High, they're serving their own belly. When I say Most High, I say Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. They're serving their own belly. It's all about them. Naquan of the IUIC, he's serving his own belly. He loves the position that he's in. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is not dealing with that dude. And he's not of the elect. And the Most High is going to get rid of him and break up the Wi-Fi. And you lost. When it comes to the MOTB, you are not the father. Inside joke. Anyway, let me see. Let me go here. Then I'll get into the subject. Matthew. And it's a damn shame we got to do this, man. It's a damn shame we got to come to. And this is a basic script. This is a basic understanding. Hell is a basic understanding. How did this dude get it? Hell is talking about, well, the lake of fire is an actual place that you burn forever. And he hits a couple of scriptures, 3-card Molly scriptures. I mean, these dudes are fucking off, man. And because they blindly follow this guy, Bishop Nate. Okay, so let's go to the 12. You can really start at 11, but I'm gonna go to 12 first. For whosoever has it, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. So one time, Bishop Nate taught that the hell, I believe they taught that. They didn't teach that hell was a hellfire with a devil with a pitchfork. Really, it was a trident, not a pitchfork. And that came from the Roman Empire. If you watch the Gladiator movies, you had one guy that had a thing that looked like a pitchfork. It was really a trident. And trident means 3 teeth. You have a missile system in the US called the Trident missile. And trident means three teeth. It says it looks like a pitchfork. It says, therefore speak I to them in parables, because and this book is written in a parabolic, symbolic fashion. That's why you got Christians teaching one thing, and you got us teaching something different, which we're teaching it the right way, because they see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. So this prophecy has to be fulfilled, and is being fulfilled now, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see and shall not perceive. For this people, the Israelites, heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes, they have, this is Isaiah 6 and 9, have closed. They have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and should understand with their heart and should be converted, and I should heal them. Now these comedic motherfuckers, just leave them alone. Look, Tapkins already has no business dealing with them comedic, being cool with Sarnetta. Those are blind people, man. Forget about them. Forget about them. It says after the how does it go? First and second admonition, reject. So now let me go here, and I'll touch on I'll touch on a handful of prophecies. This guy right here is clearly going off, but he can call. All they got to do is give him a purple shirt with fringes on it, and he's in there. He don't got to cut his hair or nothing like that. Now, whether this man is one of the elect of Israel, he appears to be Israel. Look like he might have a little Gad or Reuben up in him, because down south you got a mixture of Judah and Gad and Reuben. And this is Tallahassee. And Jake is spread all over the place. You figure Tallahassee, don't know white people. No, you got more. You got Jakes literally all over the Bible Belt, all down south, all up north, all on the west. That's a fulfillment of the Israelites, man. Sand of the sea, stars of heaven, that cannot be measured nor numbered. We are those people. We are those people. So I'm gonna let you listen. I'll bring out a couple of scriptures, and then I'll close. So this is 27 minutes and 18 seconds in of a 36-minute and 48-second video. I hope you can hear it. This is the actual original. When I tried the other video, I was using like a copy of the original. So this should come out crystal clear. But if it doesn't, just listen. Just come to this video right here. If I remember, I'll leave the link in the description box. There's if you put IUIC Lake of Fire, it will come up. IUIC Tennessee. So listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. And their honorable men. You know what? We don't keep God's commandments. The knowledge of Malachi 2:7 is keeping the laws of God. Read. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself. Therefore, what? Hell hath enlarged herself. Read the first line of verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity. Read the first verse of 14. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself. Living in hell right now. Because our people. You got to qualify that. Let's go to that precept. What did he read out of? I think he jumped from Isaiah was 13 and 5, and then he went to Isaiah. Isaiah 14. That should be around about the 9th verse. All right, here we go. 9th verse. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even the chief ones of the earth. So I'm going to go back to what he was saying. I'm going to go to all the precepts. Let's look up the word hell. Sheol or Sha'awal, which means grave or pit. Hell just means what? Hell goes back to the Hebrew for pit or grave. A person that's buried in the 6 feet under or in the sepulcher, they're put in hell. It says wicked, they go off and is wicked sent there for punishment of extreme degradation and sin. place of no return. So the proper understanding is grave or pit. Let's see Sha'al. Let's see what Sha'al means. Okay, that has nothing to do with it. All right, let's come back over here and let's pull these precepts out. Let's come back over to 27, 25. 7 is keeping the laws of God. Read. And the honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself. Therefore, what? That's 5:13. Isaiah 5. Isaiah 5 and 13. Therefore, 14. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it, and the mean men shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes, and that's parabolic, for a condition, but the word hell, it means a dead state. Baruch, it says, it speaks about the dead Israelites. Same thing. Hell is sha'awal, which means a grave or the pit. Let's go here. The dead Israelites. Israel lights. Let's see what comes up. All right, Baruch. Baruch 3, verse 4. O Lord Almighty, Yahweh Almighty, thou power of Israel, Yasha'Allah, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites. So we're in a dead state of mind. We're on the bottom. We're not recognized and respected by the nations. So we're like, it's just like something that you do that offends your mother, and your mother says, leave, I don't want to see you no more, my son. You are dead to me. Doesn't mean the guy's going to drop dead. It means that I don't want to know you. It was like you were dead to me. So you got to qualify it, man. Now, when he says we are in hell, yeah, we're in a hellish condition, a dead state. Remain in the congregation of the dead, meaning we're in a dead state. Mentally, we're in a dead state. So, like I said, you have to qualify that word when you say hell, because hell, first and foremost, means a pit or the grave. And of their children which have sinned before thee, meaning they took the mark, and not, so if you take the mark, they got to add to it. You take the mark, you're going to hell. Anyway, it says, and not hearkening unto the voice of their power, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto us. So in a parabolic, symbolic way, in a poetic way, you can say that we are in hell. The city of Capernaum was in heaven, meaning they were doing good. They were making money. They were doing good. And then the city of Capernaum became like a ghost town. So that's what the Lord said shall be thrown into hell. Didn't mean that the city's going to be put in hell fire. It means that the city's going to die. It's going to be in the form of a pit. So now let's come back over here. Hell hath enlarged herself. Read the first line of verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity. Read the first verse of 14. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself. Living in hell right now. Because our people don't want to follow God's commandments. This is hell. But a lot of our people get
this situation confused with the lake of fire? Give me Revelations 20.
Now, this was put up 5 months ago. There's no video of them correcting that, because if they corrected it, they would have took this video down. This video would not be up. So this is what they believe. And then somebody put a comment that's part of IUIC Ithon under a different name. So now here's the comments. Now, if you go to our comments, a comment board on the live screen or stream, or the like the comments on the side or down here, you're gonna see scripture after scriptures after scripture. There's not one scripture on this comment board right here. Not one scripture. And I was reading through them. Most of them are women. Women don't know what's going on. Not one I went through every comment. There was not one precept. Not one. Not a one. Most of them are women. They leave captive, silly women laden with iniquity, laden with sin, creeping in houses. Not one precept. They're just as bad as Christians. Not one precept. Not one precept. I was kind of hoping for at least one precept. Not one precept. Now go to any of our videos. You're going to see nothing but precepts. Not one precept. That's right. Bring it out. And so the leadership of the IUIC can say anything. Okay, one precept. Nehemiah 8, give the one precept out of about 100 damn comments. One precept. Mostly women. If the blind lead the blind, they shall what? Both fall into a ditch. I don't know what this is all about. Let me see what this is all about right here. And see this guy IUIC. It might as well be Wi-Fi. These guys just watch certain videos, going back to Naquan, and they had brothers from other state join with them, but they're totally off. Now, I'll deem these brothers as sincere, so they could come out of that, man. But Naquan, you were not gonna make it, my man. You better I advise you to humble yourself completely. All right. Let me come back over here. Now listen.
But if you don't, you're gonna be dead here, and you're gonna be dead in the kingdom to come. You ain't gonna see the kingdom because you're gonna be burning in the lake of fire.
So he mentioned this is a different hell. This is a different hell. He said, we're in hell right now. So he's in hell, but there's a different hell. And he said, if you don't come into this thing, you're gonna be blind on this side and blind on the other side, and you're gonna be in hell forever. There's no scriptures where it says Israelites are gonna burn in hell. And if Israelites burn in hell, then Esau and the other nations got to burn in hell, right? Are there any righteous Edomites? No. So are any Edomites going to make it? No. Are any Edomites going to taste of the kingdom? No, not the blessings of the kingdom. So that means all Edomites are going to slavery. So going to hell. So where are you going to get the slave from? Where are you going to get the slave from? Use your head for something other than a hat rack. Use your head for something other than a hat rack. None of these guys think. They don't think. They just follow whatever this guy says. We're gonna go with it. And that's not so in Great Millstone. That's not so. And then they should wonder if we're such a terrible we're like the worst group out there. Why is nobody leaving the GMS? Why is nobody dropping dead left and right? You got guys in IUIC dropping dead. I was watching another video. Another guy died. He was 60 years old. Another guy died from out of Boston IUIC. I mean, he's good now, but ain't no men from GMS leaving to go. Oh, I'm getting with the Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm getting with the IUIC. Oh, I'm getting with. They ain't leaving, man, because all the men in GMS, the top. When I say men that are grounded in this thing, they ain't going nowhere, man. They know that we taught them the truth the right way, and they know that we're honest when we give them the truth. Let me bring it back some. So I'm gonna see what Bishop Nate, when he does his Saturday night class, I'm gonna see if he's gonna cover it, and he might say, hey, read it again for you idiots, for you morons out there. That dude's a spoiled fucking kid. He's in a high position. He got that. The Lord speaks about being in the uppermost rooms and all of that feast. He loves that shit. Then he's got his and he said, I ain't doing nothing wrong because my fellow men in the leadership would tell me. Ain't nobody telling you because they kissing your ass. And for you GMS guys that said, I don't know, man. Motherfucker, go join with them. Get with them. You know?
But if you don't, you're going to be dead here and you're going to be dead in the kingdom to come. You ain't going to see the kingdom because you're going to be burning in the lake of fire.
You're not going to see the kingdom because you're going to be burning in the lake of fire. That means where are we going to get the Edomites from? Because they got it all burning fire too. What about the Ishmaelites? What about the Hamites? What about the Hawaiians, the Japhites? What about the Moabites? They're not following the laws of the Most High. So where are we gonna get this? Where are we gonna get the slaves at, man? How is he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity? How is that gonna come to pass? If you use your head for something other than a hat rack, you'll understand it. IUIC is gonna be broken up by Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai. And the sincere ones out of there, they're gonna do the right thing, or they're gonna get with GMS. GMS is just an acronym. It's not important. But they're clearly going off. And look, we're gonna be watching Saturday. We're gonna be watching Saturday to see what the great master bishop has to say about this subject. He's gonna call us a bunch of more. Either he'll get it, or if there's enough demons on him on that day, you bunch of morons.
Yes, I want the kingdom of heaven. Brothers, do y'all want the kingdom of heaven? So that's why we keep the commandments of God.
That's cultist behavior. He's, says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bring it out. Yes, sir. These guys that's why I call them zombies, man. And I'm not saying that to snap on them. I'm saying that because that's exactly what they are, a bunch of zombies.
2 Ezra 7:47. Watch this.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 47. For what profit is it for me now in this present time?
The Bible asks, what profit is it for men in this present time, right now? Read.
To live in heaviness.
So what profit is it to live in heaviness? We catching hell. The police killing us. Our brothers killing us. We living on Section 8. We broke. What's the point in? What's the profit in that? Watch this. Come on.
And after death.
And after what?
Death.
Is every last one of us is appointed to die at some point. So it says that after death, read.
To look for punishment. Oh no.
Read it again from the top.
But what profit is it for me now in this present time to live in heaviness? And after death, to look for punishment.
That punishment that's talking about is what we read in Revelation 20, the lake of fire. So why would you want to die twice? Because you're already dead if you don't keep God's commandments now. And then when you wake up, you're going to look for punishment, which is that lake of fire. And guess what? There's no reversal from that. At least right now, in our low state, we can reverse this in the kingdom. Ain't nothing gonna get better for us in our situation here. First this and get commandments now. Why would you want to that's talk?
Live in heaven. But what profit is it for me, now in this present time, to live in heaven and after death, to look for punishment?
That punishment that's talking about is what we read in Revelations 20, the lake of fire. So why would you want to die twice? Because you're already dead if you don't keep God's commandments now. And then when you wake up, you're going to look for punishment, which is that lake of fire. And guess what? There's no reversal from that. At least right now, in our low state, we can reverse this in the kingdom.
He's teaching we got to wake up all the Israelites because the ones that don't make it, they're going to burn in hell. So that must mean Esau's going to burn in hell, Moab going to burn in hell, Ham going to burn in hell. All you're going to have is about 250,000 Israelites out there, and they're going to have to work. But you see what this guy did? He's slick with the scriptures. He would hold it, bring it out. It's a song and dance. Now, I don't know if this man's sincere or not. You know, what does it say in Romans 16:17? Fair words, fine speeches, deceive the heart of the simple. That's not going to look. When I saw this video, and I'm surprised that nobody went through this. And this is still up there today, man. So let's listen to some more.
Ain't nothing gonna get better for us in our situation here. So we gotta hope for a better kingdom, a heavenly kingdom. You understand that, bro? Isaiah 55:6.
Now you got the man scared. He's saying, if I don't do the right, if I don't join the IUIC, I'm going to burn in hell forever. That's a Roman Catholic doctrine right there. That's a Roman Catholic doctrine. These guys are about big numbers. And like I said, they had the march, Kyrie Irving, the march, they had all the purple on, which they made a ton of money on that because you had to buy those T-shirts, whatever they cost, $25, $30. And they had a march, and guess what? Whether it was 1,000 guys, 2,000 guys, they had the march in Detroit. All those guys that were marching, they all believe the same thing because they're indoctrinated. This is cultish activity.
Isaiah chapter 55:6.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 55 and verse 6.
So what say you, Sakari? What say you, Deacon Hakar? I would love for you to do a video on this. You get on them Christians, get on these guys. They teaching that hell is an actual place and that more Israelites, 2/3 are not gonna make it. So guess what? 2/3 are going to hell. Your mama ain't right, she gonna burn in hell forever. You're gonna be enjoying yourself in the kingdom, although you're gonna have to work because you ain't gonna have no slaves because they're gonna be in hell too.
Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, a nation that knew. Verse 6, seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
The Bible says we got to seek the Lord while he may be found. Right now is the time. Because there's going to come a day where you're going to try to seek him, but the door's going to be closed to you. You got to get that Christianity feel-good message out of here.
You're teaching a Christian doctrine. Hell is a Christian doctrine. A Roman Catholic doctrine. You're clearly going off.
Think about it. Think about it. If you bend over backwards for a female friend, right? You're dating her, you see your girlfriend, but you want to marry her. You do everything for her, but she won't commit to you. Eventually, you're going to get what? You'll get tired of her. And when she try to get her mind right, you go, mush her and say, nah, I'm with this my wife, man. You're going to push her to the side, right? Read that again.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse.
That's the one wife doctrine. One wife doctrine. I'm gonna push it. I got this one, but no, I got this one. She come along, she realizes I really love the man. Well, come on in. Now I got 2 wives. What's wrong with that? In the kingdom. So wait a minute. 7 women shall take hold of one man. They're saying that you're going off. That's wickedness. So in the kingdom, when we get them 7 women to one man, are those men going to go into captivity with those women?
Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near.
While he's near, guess what? when 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he is near. You're witnessing it right now. He's near right now. But if you keep ignoring him, if you don't want to commit to him, you're going to try one day, he's going to mush you and say, I never knew you. That's 1 Proverbs 8:17.
Well, first of all, you come into this because you're drawn. St. John 6, 43, 44. The Lord draws you to Yahweh Shai. So you can't make yourself come into this. The Most High has to draw you to this. The Most High is only looking for the elect, and he draws the elect to himself. Not just any old body. There's certain people that's appointed to be asleep, and they're gonna be destroyed. But guess what? They're gonna come back.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 17. Watch this. It's for all of us, bro. This is sincere from the Lord. And I pray y'all understand what God is trying to tell us. It ain't us. This is the word of God. Read what you got.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 17. I love them that love me.
Meaning what? If you're not willing to seek him now, if you're not willing to conform yourself to him now, he don't love you. Y'all understand that God hates, right? Meaning what? If you ain't doing what he say, he hates you. Read it again. There you go. Read it again.
Yeah, well, he might hate you, but he ultimately loves his people because he's going to deliver them. And then if you really want to go deep, why do we sin in the first place? Because the Most High put the spirit on us to sin. That's in Romans, the 8th chapter. You can actually start from the 16th verse. The key point is around about the 20th verse, 20 to the 23rd verse. You know, not willing. Matter of fact, let me get that. I mean, I don't got to get that. Just read it. But anyway, let's go to Revelation 20. Like the books were open, book of life, judge the things written in the book of life according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead, which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they would judge every man according to their work. And death and hell were cast into the what? The lake of fire. So he's saying that death and hell was cast into the lake of fire, meaning, how can you cast death into hell? The lake, he's saying that the hell is talking about the condition that we're living in. The lake of fire is actually hell. You know, what is it? Little Nicky, whatever the hell that movie is. That was a movie starring Adam Sandler. Funny, that movie's funny as hell, man. Was that Little Nicky Hell Doctrine? That's called the IUIC teaches the Little Nicky Hell Doctrine. Lake of fire. This is the second death. And now, what was the first death? The flood. The second death is by fire. Peter said that. So what happens to the souls that get destroyed? They're gonna come right back. They ain't going to hell. And the other nations, they're coming up under us. If you apply what this man just said, that means that we're not gonna have no nations under this, because none of the nations believe in the Most High. So none of them are gonna be saved. So they're gonna go to the same place where the wicked Israelites go, is the hell. So you're just gonna have 250,000 Israelites just walking around. They gotta work. They ain't got nobody to be their slaves. Whosoever was not found written in the book of life. Who's not found written in the book of life? Anybody that's not of the elect of Israel. To be in the book of life, you have to be an Israelite, number one, or number two. And number one, you have to be a chosen of the Most High and the Israelite. To be in the Lamb's book of life was cast into the lake of fire. The lake of fire represents the U.S., Babylon the Great, being on fire. And this is what John saw as a bird's eye, or like a schematic, bird's eye view. You're looking down from the heavens and you're seeing this thing that looks like a lake on fire. What he saw was the U.S. on fire. That's all he saw. That's all he saw. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Okay, like a fire. Let me do this. Then let me get ready to close. So they went off again. They're off on a lot of things. They're off on the charagma. They're off on the hell. This is a new thing. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. Let me do this. Let me do this here. Scriptures say they wax worse and worse. This is Apostle Gabar. GMS Vegas. Sit down. That's the elder, the young elder, Karatazar. And I knew he was going to do a video. IUIC becoming more Christianized by the day. Hell, Sakari, you still would unite? IUIC is hitting sour notes like Froggy for the Little Rascals. Froggy for the Little Rascals. Or another chemical spill in North Carolina, and the news is not covering it. Oh, and so all Israel shall be saved. So you'll be able to see your grandma. That means your grandma going to burn in hell. Your mom going to burn in hell. Your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your children. That's a terrible God. This is a God with no mercy. Okay, now this guy right here, I done. One is none other than Ithon of the IUIC, the tallest man in the IUIC. That's him. That's him. But this is the latest. This is the latest. I asked him a question, right? Then what the hell happened? All right, here we go. All right, let me see. Yeah, I asked him, what is the lake of fire in Revelation 20? So this is his response. That reads in the Revelation 20 and 10 as judgment that awaits the deceiver, the false lying prophet, and the lawless after death. And hell shall follow in that judgment as well, because truth, justice, mercy shall abound here. Hence, I'm not inquiring about how the wicked shall be punished, but how the seekers of righteousness can be saved. But it's fine if you do not wish to answer my initial about the Sabbath thing. I'm not going to answer that. Okay, you go throw them question to somebody else, because he's defending that new moon thing, that new moon garbage, which is false. So I hope the questions are you going to try to get, go into that Lashwan Kodash. This, well, I know exactly who this is. This is Aitan. That's all he is. It's Aitan. So let me go to the lake of fire. Okay, I said I was going to do this. Copy. Let's see what the commentators say. And death and hell cast. Okay, they are enemies of the Most High and to be destroyed at Christ's trumpet. But though no doubt presented to Saint John as individual demon figures, we are probably not to understand that they are real persons like the devil and those represented by the beast and the false prophet. And hence, we are not told that, like them, they continue to exist in the torment of the lake of fire. This is the second death. Add the lake of fire. We have learned already that temporary death, does not hinder eternal life, nay, may secure a better and earlier resurrection there too. We now learn the opposite doctrine, that there is a resurrection not to life, but to a death far more terrible than that which ends this life. So they're talking about burning in hell forever. So, you know, these individuals at the IUIC, they're getting worse and worse. They're getting worse and worse. And Bishop Nate is doing the same thing that he did many years ago, where we told his congregation, Yash and Rahab, and the rest of the leadership, and they're back in the world, they're going to get put to death. They're going to take the Quran and they're going to be put to death. They taught the congregation, if you have a wife that's not a believer, cut her off. And all of them cut their wives off except for Bishop Nate, because his wife, as you can see on the videos, she was the only one that believed. So these brothers just went home. They agreed with it, and they went home, and they said, "Baby, you're not gonna be in Israel." No, I'm a Baptist. Well, goodbye. Where you going? Where you going? I'm out of here, bitch. Now I don't know if after they fell out the truth, they got back with their wives, but that was one thing that they taught. Another thing was they went from one extreme to the other. I'm talking about former IUIC, 12 Tribe Production, House of David. They said they kept pushing this stuff about keep the law, what they're doing now. They got it from this rattlesnake that we did videos on. He was pushing that nonsense. And the Most High going to destroy him. So Bishop Nate kept that going. But to keep the laws of the Most High, Christ this and Christ that. And calling on Christ and Jesus, when you know the true name, what you have said on these recent shows, that's not the real name of the Lord Jesus. It's Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So you know the name, but then you're not teaching your congregation. And the congregation blindly follow you, man. That's why we call you guys a bunch of zombies. The last thing that you did, this is what you told me over the phone. Now you can say, well, I never talked to him on the phone. Okay, I said, okay, good. I can't prove it, but I'm telling you what happened, right? The last thing that you did, that you told me before you hung up was you said we can't keep the laws. We're not supposed to. We don't have to go on the streets, the highways, and the byways no more. They're back out on the highways and the byways. So he reversed on that. Meddle not with them that are given the change. The last thing that he did that he told me, he said, we're not to keep the laws. We're under grace. So you got to prove that you're not keeping laws by eating a pork chop or a ham sandwich in front of us. You couldn't say, well, you know, I just finished eating the pork chop. Nope, that's not good enough. You're going to have to bring the pork chop in the sanctuary and you're going to have to eat it in front of us. That's what he told me. Now, he can say he never said that. Like I said, I don't have the evidence on that. I didn't say, well, let me bring out the tape recorder 20 years from now. If he brings it up, I got it. No, I'm just telling you what he told me. Now, you can go ahead and ask him. And I hope he covers that on Saturday class. And this may be your last class. Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is definitely going to break up the IUIC. Because you're not doing the will of the Heavenly Father. You're doing the will of yourself, your own belly, the will of your own belly. You're about yourself. You're not about the Most High. So the lake of fire is Babylon. Is John seeing Babylon on fire by way of getting hit with the lasers from the chariots and the missiles? That's what John saw. He saw a Babylon the Great, the U.S. on fire. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.